Yes, modern nationalism is a unique thing, no doubt about that, but not nationalism as such, because that's the thing. So you say the state is a unique phenomenon, modern state, from which he seems to infer that the state didn't exist before modern state. So he sort of equivocates between modern state and state. They're not obviously modern state is a unique phenomenon in the sense that it's unlike any state in its complexity and its nature, and which existed before, but doesn't mean that a state didn't exist. Similarly, nationalism, modern nationalism, is a unique phenomenon because modern nationalism is related to capitalism. It's a political ideology. It's a political organization which is related to capitalism. So capitalism is belief in freedom of human beings, and it can form individual. I mean, this is very superficial, but just to give you an idea, the level of species, and at the level of groups, social groups, and communities. So here you have liberalism and individualism. So here you have socialism and those sort of ideologies, and here you have nationalism. And obviously, in modern, these all interact. These are liberalism, socialism, and nationalism to form modern states. So there's no pure liberalism because most of liberal states today are also national, but they are not nationalists per se. So they're different from nationalists. So they're different from Nazis and fascist states. But they're still that's a liberal nationalism. So there's then socialist nationalism. Then there is other forms of nationalism. More pure nationalism, and then you have fascism and Nazism, which are extreme forms of nationalism. So these all so we sort of distinguish between these ideology, but in the constitutional modern way of life, they're all ideologies of capitalism. So liberalism, socialism, nationalism, they're all ideologies of capitalism, and they exist today within the modern world in a way in which they interact with each other. So they form. So even those states which we call liberal states, modern liberalism, although it criticizes socialism and nationalism, it is influenced by those ideologies. So modern liberalism. So that's why in modern liberalism you have forms of socialism and nationalism. Sometimes it takes the form of social democracy, sometimes more towards the right, sometimes more towards the left. But you don't have liberalism without nationalism, for example, today. So when he said that nationalism is uniquely constitutive of modern state, in a sense he's right. In a sense he's right because all states are nation states, even America, which is sort of come near to acting as a global state, but it is not really a global state, and that's the contradiction in it. So that's why it can't, because its legitimacy and its political structure is all national. So in that sense, nationalism is a unique phenomenon. All states are nation states, and obviously Islamic State won't be a nation state. But that also doesn't mean that it won't start with somewhere in nation, like so. And it would be a great test of any Islamic state, like Iran and Afghanistan, for example, not to. They are necessarily based in a geographical space and historical time, but at the political level, how they will transcend the nation, the political nationalism is a great test for them, obviously. Yeah, okay, let's go back. So even nationalism, an unprecedented phenomenon and one uniquely constituted modern state, said to have been launched into the world by Islamic holy country. Nationalism. Well, nationalism is kufr, Islam. So that's obviously if somebody says that. Similarly drafted in Medina 14 years ago. Let's look at this footnote and then we'll stop here. Okay, so this is saying the Islamists say that nationalism was initiated by Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which I doubt. Anyway, he called the Islamic State Mahmoud al-Dawla al-Islamiyya al-Nizam al-Siyasi, Quraishi al-Nizam al-Siyasi, on the history and composition of the so-called Constitution of Medina. Now, a lot of people, obviously they're wrong to call Misak Medina Constitution, and that's because they don't understand the Constitution, the nature of Constitution modern. So it's not that they don't understand the Mithaq, but they misunderstand, they misconstrue the Waqia, the actual Constitution and its nature. But obviously Halak doesn't try to understand. He's quoting these people right, left, out of context, in context. I mean, I'm very critical of Islamists, but I still have, try to understand them sympathetically. But he doesn't seem to. So anyway, on the history and composition of Constitution drafted around the Constitution. Argument here, anachronistic use of the term state in Constitution. So his main thing is to probably show that Medina was not a state, which is a lame thing to do, because unless you think that your unique conception of state is the only definition of state. But he's right that Misak Medina is not a constitution, and the Medina state wasn't a constitutional state, it wasn't a capitalist state. It was an Islamic state par excellence. Okay, we'll continue from here, inshallah. We'll stop here.